Ever get the feeling that some AI are like those overachievers,
Yeah.
in school, who insist on doing like everything themselves?
Right.
Like even when there are perfectly good resources available,
Right.
they just start from scratch.
Mm.
It's impressive,
Yeah.
but also kind of inefficient, right?
Yeah.
That's exactly what we're diving into today.
Uh,
How AI can be smarter by using what we already know.
I like that analogy.
Oh, yeah.
It highlights a key shift in AI.
Okay.
We're starting to realize that constantly generating everything from scratch isn't always the most effective approach.
Yeah?
It's computationally expensive and, believe it or not, prone to errors.
You sent over some really thought-provoking articles on this, and it seems like you're particularly interested in how AI can leverage existing knowledge.
Yes.
So today we're going to explore why this approach is so important.
Okay.
What kinds of knowledge are out there for AI to use,
Right.
and how it all works in practice.
It's a great starting point for our discussion.
All right, let's get into it. The article dives right into what it calls the inefficiency problem.
Okay.
It argues that having AI generate everything from scratch, even basic facts, is like reinventing the wheel every single time.
It's a great point. Think about it this way. If someone asks you what the capital of France is,
Yeah.
you don't mentally retrace the entire history of France to figure it out.
Right.
You simply recall the fact from your existing knowledge.
Right. It's like using a library. You wouldn't expect the librarian to write a brand new book
No.
every time you had a question.
Right.
They use the catalog to find the information that already exists. AI can do the same with existing knowledge bases.
Exactly. And that's where the concept of AI using established knowledge bases comes in.
Okay.
Instead of generating answers from scratch, AI can tap into these vast repositories of information for a much more efficient and reliable approach.
Wow.
It's a game changer.
The article also makes a strong case for consistency.
Mm-hmm.
It argues that when AI can reference verified sources, it becomes much more trustworthy.
Yeah.
Kind of like citing your sources in a research paper.
Absolutely. It
Hmm.
adds a layer of credibility and transparency.
Yeah.
If the AI can point you to the source of its information,
Right.
you can be more confident that it's not just making things up.
And here's another cool thing. If that knowledge base gets updated, the AI automatically becomes more accurate.
Right.
No need to retrain the whole system.
Yeah.
It's constantly evolving, just like our understanding of the world.
That's right. And that's one of the major benefits here. Think about it. Centralized knowledge bases are constantly being updated and refined. By tapping into those resources, AI systems can remain up to date without the need for extensive retraining.
Yeah.
It's a huge win for scalability.
This is where it gets really interesting for me. The article talks about the sheer variety and scale of knowledge repositories that AI can access.
Yeah.
And we're not just talking about encyclopedias and dictionaries.
Right.
It mentions things like Q&A sites like Stack Overflow, which I use all the time.
Sure.
Did you know it has over 21 million questions and answers?
It's an incredible resource, and it's just one example. We're talking about a vast landscape of structured and unstructured information. Historical records, scientific journals, code repositories, patent databases, even collections of creative works like books and movies.
Wow.
The volume of information available is mind-boggling.
It makes you wonder what AI could do with all that,
It
right?
really does. And the exciting part is that AI is evolving to understand and process information in incredibly sophisticated ways.
Yeah.
It's not just about spitting out facts. It's about understanding context relationships and even creative trends.
Hold on. AI understanding creative trends. I need to hear more about that.
Okay.
What does that even mean?
Well, imagine AI analyzing millions of successful marketing campaigns, identifying patterns in the language, the visuals, and the messaging.
Uh-huh.
It could then use this knowledge to help you brainstorm a new campaign, suggesting ideas that are both creative and data-driven.
That's wild. So instead of just copying what's worked, before AI could actually help us innovate by understanding the underlying principles of successful creative work.
Exactly. It's like having an AI brainstorming partner that can tap into the collective creativity of humanity.
Okay, that's seriously cool. So we've got all this information out there, and AI is getting better at understanding it.
Yeah.
But let's make this a bit more concrete.
Yeah.
The article gives some great examples of how this actually works in practice.
One that stood out to me was how AI can enhance computer vision.
Okay.
Imagine taking a picture of the Eiffel Tower, and instead of just saying Eiffel Tower, the AI gives you its entire history, the height, exact location. It basically turns a simple image into a full-blown information hub.
I'm picturing it. Like I point my phone at the Eiffel Tower,
Yeah,
and suddenly I've got this interactive AI-powered tour guide in my pocket.
that's the idea. It's able to connect that visual input to a vast database of knowledge about the Eiffel Tower, providing a much richer experience. And it doesn't stop there.
Okay.
Think about natural language processing. Imagine asking who wrote Pride and Prejudice.
Yeah.
And instead of just getting the author's name, the AI gives you publication detailed, the novel's impact on literature. It's like an instant book report.
Wait, so I wouldn't even have to read Pride and Prejudice to sound smart at a dinner party. I'm kidding, sort of. But seriously, it's incredible to think that AI can synthesize all this information and present it in a way that's actually useful and engaging.
And this is just scratching the surface. We're talking about personalized education.
Oh, wow.
Smarter search engines, even more accurate medical diagnoses. The potential applications are truly limitless.
Now, I'm sure some of our listeners are wondering, how does this actually work? What's going on under the hood to make all this possible?
That's a great question. There are some key techniques at play here, and one of the most important ones is called grounding.
Grounding. I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
We'll think of grounding as a way to ensure that the AI's responses are anchored in facts and evidence. It's like providing footnotes in a research paper, so you can see exactly where the information's coming from.
So it's like the AI is showing its work. No more wondering if it's just making things up. I like it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It creates a transparent connection between what the AI is saying and the source of that information, which is crucial for building, especially in areas where accuracy is paramount.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But grounding sounds like just one piece of the puzzle. What else is going on?
Another important technique is called RAG, which stands for Retrieval Augmented Generation.
Ooh, that sounds a bit more technical. I'm ready. Walk me through it.
Imagine asking an AI to write a blog post about the history of Paris.
Okay.
With RAG, it wouldn't just try to generate everything from scratch. Instead, it would first retrieve relevant information from various sources.
Okay.
Think historical records, travel guides, even famous literature set in Paris.
So it's like the AI is doing its research before writing the blog post.
Exactly. It uses the retrieved knowledge as fuel for its responses, ensuring that the output is both creative and grounded in solid information. It's a powerful combination of information retrieval and generation.
I'm starting to see how all these pieces fit together.
Yeah.
You've got these vast knowledge bases.
Right.
And AI is developing increasingly sophisticated ways to access and utilize that information. It's like giving AI a brain and a library card.
I love that. A brain and a library card. That perfectly captures the essence of this approach. It's about combining the raw processing power of AI with the richness and depth of human knowledge.
So where do we go from here? What's the next chapter in this story?
Well, now that we've got a grasp of the what and the how behind AI using existing knowledge, I think it's time to dive into the why.
Okay.
What are the real-world implications of this approach?
Yeah.
How could it change the way we live, work, and interact with technology?
And maybe even more importantly, what are the potential downsides? What should we be cautious about as this technology evolves?
Those are excellent questions, and we'll explore them all in the next part of our deep dive. Stay tuned.
All right. Sounds good. Welcome back to our deep dive into the world of AI and existing knowledge.
Yeah.
Before the break, we were talking about how AI can tap into these vast repositories of information and a potential that unlocks. But as with any powerful technology, there are some important considerations to keep in mind.
Of course.
What are some of the challenges or potential pitfalls of this approach?
That's a crucial question. One challenge is ensuring that the knowledge bases themselves are accurate and reliable. After all, if the AI is drawing on flawed information, its output will also be flawed. Garbage in, garbage out, as they say.
Right. It's like if I'm using a library where all the books are full of misinformation, no matter how great my research skills are, I'm going to end up with some pretty wacky conclusions.
Exactly.
So how do we make sure these knowledge bases are up to par?
It comes down to careful curation and verification. Think about Wikipedia, for example. It relies on a vast network of contributors and editors who work to ensure the accuracy and neutrality of the information. Similar principles apply to other knowledge bases. Rigorous fact-checking, peer review, and ongoing updates are essential.
I can see how that would be a massive undertaking, especially when we're talking about such a huge volume of information.
Yeah, it is.
But it sounds like it's worth it if we want AI to be truly reliable.
Absolutely. And it's not just about accuracy, it's also about representation and diversity.
Okay.
If the knowledge bases themselves are biased or limited in perspective, the AI will inherit those limitations.
So it's not enough to just have a lot of information. It needs to be the right information representing a wide range of viewpoints and experiences.
Yeah.
That makes sense. It's like making sure the library has books from all different genres and authors, not just one narrow slice of the literary world.
Exactly. We need to ensure that the knowledge bases reflect the complexity and diversity of the real world. Otherwise, we risk creating AI systems that perpetuate existing biases and inequalities.
I'm also curious about the role of context. Humans are pretty good at understanding context, but can AI do the same? For example, I might use the word cool in different ways depending on whether I'm talking about the weather or a new gadget. Can AI pick up on those nuances?
That's a great point, and it's one of the areas where AI is still evolving. Humans have a lifetime of experiences and cultural knowledge to draw on when interpreting language and situations.
Right.
AI, on the other hand, is still learning those nuances.
So there's a risk that AI could misinterpret information or apply it in ways that we didn't intend.
There's always that possibility. That's why it's important to approach AI with a healthy dose of skepticism and critical thinking.
Okay.
We shouldn't blindly trust its output, especially when dealing with complex or sensitive topics.
It's like any tool, really. A hammer can be used to build a house or to break something. It all depends on how it's wielded.
I like that analogy. AI is a powerful tool, and it's up to us to use it responsibly and ethically.
Yeah.
That means being aware of its limitations, ensuring that it's grounded in reliable information, and always questioning its output.
So we've talked about the importance of accurate knowledge bases and the need for AI to understand context. What are some other challenges researchers are working on in this field?
One area of active research is developing AI systems that can reason about knowledge. It's not enough for AI to simply retrieve facts. It needs to be able to connect those facts, draw inferences, and make logical deductions.
So instead of just giving me a list of facts about the Eiffel Tower,
Right.
I could ask the AI to analyze its architectural significance or compare it to other famous landmarks.
Exactly. We're moving beyond simple information retrieval towards a deeper understanding and application of knowledge.
I can see how that would be a game changer for things like scientific research, medical diagnosis, even something as simple as planning a trip. Imagine an AI that can not only tell you the best flights and hotels, but also help you create an itinerary based on your interests and the time of year.
It's all about making information more actionable and relevant to the individual. We're not just looking for answers, we're looking for insights.
I'm also curious about the role of creativity in all of this. If AI is primarily relying on existing knowledge, does that limit its ability to come up with truly original ideas?
That's a fascinating question, and it's one that researchers are actively exploring. Some believe that AI can use existing knowledge as a springboard for creativity, finding new connections and patterns that humans might miss.
So it's not just about regurgitating what's already out there. It's about using that knowledge to spark new ideas.
Exactly. Think of it like a chef using a cookbook. They don't just blindly follow the recipes.
Right.
They experiment, they adapt, they add their own personal touch. AI can do the same with knowledge. It can use what's already known to create something entirely new.
That's a really interesting perspective. It suggests that AI can be both a curator and a creator. It can preserve and organize existing knowledge while also pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
That's the exciting part. We're not just building machines that can answer questions. We're building machines that can help us ask better questions, the kind of questions that lead to new discoveries and innovations.
It sounds like we're entering a new era of knowledge, where AI and humans work together to explore the vast landscape of information and unlock its full potential.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
And with that in mind, perhaps it's time to move from the technical aspects to the broader implications of this approach.
Go ahead.
How might this shift towards AI leveraging existing knowledge impact society as a whole? What are the potential benefits and drawbacks?
Those are great questions and ones that deserve careful consideration. Let's dive into that in the next part of our deep dive. Don't go anywhere.
All right.
We're back for the final part of our deep dive into AI and existing knowledge. We've covered a lot of ground, from the technical details of how AI can access and utilize information
Right.
to the importance of accurate knowledge bases and the need for contextual understanding. But now I'm curious about the bigger picture. How might this shift towards AI leveraging existing knowledge impact society as a whole?
That's a question with far-reaching implications.
Yeah.
One area where I see a huge potential impact is education.
Yeah.
Imagine a world where AI tutors can provide personalized learning experiences tailored to each student's individual needs and learning styles.
So instead of a one-size-fits-all approach, AI could help create a truly customized education system. That sounds incredible, especially for students who struggle in traditional classroom settings.
Exactly. AI could help level the playing field, providing every student with the tools and support they need to succeed. And it's not just about personalized learning. AI could also revolutionize the way we access and interact with information.
Yeah, I'm thinking about how frustrating it can be to search for information online. Sometimes I feel like I'm wading through a sea of irrelevant results.
Right.
Could AI help with that?
Absolutely. Imagine search engines that understand your intent and context, delivering precisely the information you need in a way that's easy to understand and apply. It would be like having a personal research assistant at your fingertips.
Wow. I could see how that would change the way we research, learn, and even make decisions. But couldn't that also lead to information overload?
Sure.
If we have access to all this information all the time,
Yeah.
wouldn't that be overwhelming?
That's a valid concern. It's not just about having access to information. It's about being able to filter, prioritize, and synthesize that information effectively.
Yeah.
And that's where AI can play a crucial role.
So it's not just about giving us more information, but about helping us make sense of the information we already have.
Precisely. AI can help us identify patterns, connections, and insights that we might miss on our own. It can help us see the forest for the trees, so to speak.
I'm also thinking about the potential impact on the workforce. If AI can automate tasks that currently require human intelligence, would that lead to job displacement?
That's a question that comes up a lot, and it's an important one. There's no doubt that AI will change the nature of work, just as previous technological revolutions have done. But I believe it will also create new opportunities in industries that we can't even imagine yet.
So it's not necessarily about AI replacing humans, but about AI and humans working together in new ways.
Exactly. It's about augmenting human capabilities, not replacing them.
Okay.
Think about the field of medicine, for example. AI can assist doctors in diagnosing diseases, analyzing medical images, and even performing surgeries.
Wow.
But it can't replace the human touch, the empathy and the nuanced understanding that are essential to patient care.
That makes sense. It's
Right.
like AI can handle the technical stuff, freeing up human doctors to focus on the things that require a more personal touch.
That's the idea. It's about finding the right balance between human and artificial intelligence, leveraging the strengths of both to create a better future.
This has been a really thought-provoking conversation. I feel like I have a much deeper understanding of the potential and the challenges of AI leveraging existing knowledge. Any final thoughts for our listeners as they continue to explore this topic?
I would encourage everyone to approach AI with a sense of curiosity and critical thinking. Don't be afraid to ask questions, challenge assumptions, and explore the ethical implications of this powerful technology. The future of AI is being shaped right now, and it's up to all of us to ensure that it's a future we can all be proud of.
Well said. And on that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive. Thanks for joining us on this journey into the fascinating world of AI and existing knowledge.